Oh, nice. Just to catch Kevin. Yeah, baby.
That's a good intro right there.
Welcome to Brick Talk, the Lego investing podcast. And on today's episode, each of us is going to be sharing one bad pickup we made, one set that we missed out on, and one flex that we were absolutely right on.
All right, Brian, you're our guest. You want to go first?
All right, so mine is Nutcracker 40640, $12.99 MSRP. We probably all saw this set on sale for at least 40% off throughout Q4 last year. Unfortunately, it's still in stock from Amazon and Barnes & Noble at MSRP, so there's been no appreciation for the sets. I got 37 at $5.50, 58% off. No matter how good my buy price is, it's still a bad investment for this one. I'm still not even close to doubling my money, and there are 70 sellers on Amazon, 48 on Walmart, massively oversupplied.
Let me come out and ask the million dollar question right away, Brian. How do you foresee the price changing this upcoming Q4? Is this going to finally break out, sell out, and have aftermarket performance, or is the glut of supply going to toast the price?
It all just depends on when Amazon and Barnes & Noble sell out. I would think that Amazon would sell out this year sometime in Q4, but Barnes & Noble, that sucker could be in stock till next year. But if they both sell out this year, I think we could see maybe $15, but nothing crazy.
I think you're at least Christmas 2026 before you would get any worthwhile return on investment, which means now you're holding on to it way longer than you plan to. So you got to decide, are you going to liquidate and break even, or are you going to try to hold on to them that extra year or so?
I'll be liquidating for sure. Summer 2026, that's my cutoff for all investments.
I figured that's what you were going to say. I am proud of myself. I did not fall into that trap. And you guys know me. I see any set on discount, I'm like, let's buy it. Brian, for somebody who rarely makes bad pickups, that's a big miss for you. And so I am happy to laugh at you on that one. That is this segment, right? Bad set, we all laugh at each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm laughing at DG. All right, guys, I got a good bad set for you. But first, I have to share that I had many to choose from. The original wave of dioramas, the Millennium Falcon diorama, Star Wars Brickheadz multi-pack, the Justifier, only got 2 of those, my stack of 50 Republic fighter tanks over there, my 4 or 5 each of the Harry Potter house banners, and the Asha's Cottage that you guys mentioned. I am going with the dried flower centerpiece. This one guts me. It had under a 2-year shelf life. It's Botanicals. I know the demand was way down compared to the others. It looks great, and you don't need a vase for it. It sits nice and flat on a good table. I picked up around 15 at $30 each, and on eBay after shipping and fees, maybe $30. I realize Amazon invested in this set. Actually, let's look at the Camel 3X chart, and yeah, you can see Amazon and third-party sellers not looking good. This bump back here was nice, and then once I turn off third-party sellers, we can see Amazon still has a lot of it in stock. So it is a zombie stock issue. Maybe once that burns up, it will do okay, but I'm frustrated by it. That should have been a winner at $30.
I had about 24 of these at the same around $30 buy price, and once again, won't be my problem going forward, but I feel for anyone who invested deeply into this.
Yeah, DG, I got to give you credit, man, before Brian jumps in here. You did have hesitation on this set when we would talk about it on previous episodes, and I was really excited about it, but at that 40% off price, we were both feeling good.
It's just that everyone and their mother got that 40% off or 35% or 42%. Right? Everyone got this right around $30 to $35. And other than the dark red colors, it's just fugly. It just looks like baby barf.
Yeah, and I hear you. I love it, though, in terms of a build, but, it's something different. But also, we got sucked in because a Bird of Paradise did so well, and that was the first main Botanicals to retire.
Yeah, it's funny you should bring up that Bird of Paradise. I have an open box copy right here, and my hot take is that this dried flower centerpiece is going to do the opposite of the Bird of Paradise. Instead of shooting up immediately and then flatlining, I think this is flatlined pretty much, and as soon as Amazon sells out, I do think the continued collectability of the botanical line is going to continue to drive a trickle of demand, at least a couple hundred a month, to this set. Ultimately, that's going to extinguish the supply and the price is going to go up.
Unfortunately, I'm in the same boat as you, Kevin. I just looked it up. I have 46 of the sets, but they had really strong metrics, very good demand, low supply up until we saw a lot of deep extended discounts end of year, and then it's still being in stock from Amazon and Barnes & Noble has led to the price completely stagnating. It's not going to be able to increase above what they're selling it at, and there's a lot of supply out there, and because Amazon hasn't sold out, not been able to burn through a lot, we're entering fall. This is the season where we need people to start buying up that third-party inventory, but I do think, David, as you said, once it sells out, it does still have a nice pathway to profitability, as long as it sells out within the next year-ish. I don't know. needs to have next fall.
Yeah, I need to see the seasonal peak in demand. I would imagine it's like September, October, November, and then maybe after holiday, maybe you get some holiday season. But I imagine come January, nobody wants to look at this.
Yeah, the chart, it's like really low through most of the year. Big hump October, big hump December. It was like 2 Q4s worth. That was one of the reasons I liked it. It was like huge seasonal demand for both seasons right back to back.
Well, after both of you guys shared your seasonal L's, I'm going to share a year-round L that I took this last year. This next set I purchased 50 of. The 60428 City Space Construction Mech, retired last year. I was really high on this set. $11 MSRP, but you could get this set for as low as $5 and change. I loaded up on these at just under $7. If we look at the Amazon price history, we see a pretty frequent sale down here at around that $7, and the lowest ever price, $6. How's it doing today? Not too hot, selling for $12.95. That's under 20% over MSRP, and Amazon fees on these little sets just eat you up. So I'm pretty sure I would be at a loss if I tried to sell these today. I hate to eat my words. $10 city sets have been some of my favorites, but this was an L for me.
Still in stock at Barnes & Noble.
But Barnes & Noble is such a niche retailer, you know?
But it suppresses the set on Amazon, and so it doesn't sell nearly as many units. So
I see.
That's the issue. It would have been fine.
So hypothetically, if someone were to place a large Barnes & Noble order...
If you can place more than 5, let me know.
Actually, you're right. They're really strict on those limits. So what do you guys think? I'm getting nothing. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad investment. It's the same common trend for all 3 of our investments. We have lingering inventory from a retailer. It's impacted the sales that we're seeing from third-party sellers in the aftermarket. And so there's a glut of supply. Price is going to go down as people can't sell their inventory. Everyone has different time frames for how long they want to sell. They want to sell in 6 months, a year, 2 years. And if the people who want to sell immediately after retirement can't get a good profit, that's going to compound over and over and over. And this pile of supply is going to add up. Price is going to go down. And that's what we're seeing here.
So unless something changes like that retailer selling out, this problem doesn't get fixed.
And of the 3 we've talked about so far, I probably have the most hope for this one. However, DG, like you said earlier, I'm done with the $10 and $15 sets. It's just too much work. But I think in terms of ROI percentage, I think that one will work out. They're so small. They're easy to store. I don't mind having them. I think those I'm happy to hold on to for another couple years. And I think they will double up. But I'm not getting any more at that size going forward unless they are really, really looking great.
Yeah, I would agree. What I said earlier about small set size, when it comes time to do the accounting, as I've revamped my accounting and gotten everything spick and span, beautiful looking books, I've realized that multiple orders with different product mixes for each to get around the target limits is just kind of an accounting headache. I'm just going to be looking at larger sets this year. Yep. All right, it's flex time. Who's ready to flex?
One of the sets I'm most proud of this year is Australia Postcard, set number 40651. This set had a $15 MSRP. Right now on Amazon, it's going for $40. On Walmart, $37. And I will say it's been even higher than that. It's been up to $45 on Amazon, but it's a little lower right now. I have 26 of the set. I wish I had more, about a $10 average purchase price. So I'm getting a great percentage return there. There's really no reason for anyone not to like this set. I don't think anyone in this call would ever disagree that this was a bad set, right?
I've always loved the postcards.
Good. I didn't know we were telling jokes today.
We've got a little revisionist history coming from
I am
the KDX
dead wrong
corner.
on these postcards. I thought the Paris one was good because it kind of retired as a surprise, and the Olympics and all that. And what was the other one? Has another one retired yet, Brian?
This year at Beijing, and it's actually doing better.
Wow, yeah. Man. So yeah, dead wrong. I get why they're popular, but I thought it was just going to be a quick little fad. But I guess I have nothing intelligent to say.
So I'll do a quick recap of what my analysis was. It was a Lego exclusive. The Paris Postcard, also exclusive, was a huge hit. And, KDX, known hater, said it was a fluke. Most people said it was a fluke. But this set was still selling well over MSRP, just like you want to see with any Lego exclusive set. Around $22, had very low supply. And there was also, continued collectability, not just with the retired sets, but we still have Italy, London, New York, and Japan still on the shelves. And this set will always have relevance, cultural relevance, as people go on vacation. They want a little memento from their trip. And these are just always going to have people searching for Australia, New York, all these places. This is why the Architecture New York set is so popular, because people visit there a lot. And this is a similar thing. It's not as popular, but it's still going to have that consistent, steady demand. So it had everything you could want for an investment.
I now feel like even more of an idiot. So Brian, will they all continue to do well, or eventually am I going to get in on like the fourth retiring one, and that one's going to end up sucking.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see when another one's retiring. We don't have one retiring this year, but if we have just 1 or 2 sets retiring next year, supply is still low while it's on shelves, going well over MSRP, I think I'll still be just as in on them, especially if other people in the community are still down on them.
All right, I'll be that guy for you.
I don't think the next retiring wave, probably 2026, will do as well, because I think the cat will be out of the bag, and yet again, we'll be looking to a new Lego sub theme for those explosive results. I was also very down on Australia Postcard because Australia, I looked it up, population 27 million, great country. That's not that big. And in terms of cultural relevance, yeah, it's a big place on the globe, but for most of the world, we don't just, there's not a lot of news coming out of Australia. Years and years ago, in 2013 to 16, we had the Sydney Opera House in the Architecture Landmarks line. This one hasn't done well as an investment at all. $320, and it's only $410 today, according to BrickTalk. And I chalked up the failure of the Opera House to be just too niche. It's the iconic building in Sydney, right? And almost in Australia, but just no demand. So I looked at this Australia Postcard and thought, yes, it's collectible, but it's the weakest in the line. Turns out it's not the weakest, and I missed out.
To provide the counterpoint, I, for one, think Australia is a lovely place, and I look forward to visiting there someday.
All right, so people we've offended: accountants, Singaporeans, Australians. Who else did you alienate the other day, Kevin?
I forgot. It was a pretty good one, though. I'm still scratching my head on why that Australia Postcard is doing so well. I mean, Brian, I get all the metrics. You're on it, right? Like, you are on point, but it's not like it's a high volume of visitors to Australia. But it kind of goes in with the world map. That one surprised all of us, too. It seems like a lot of these travel-related sets, like the Globe, are decent investments, even when the set isn't that good. You know, I know we're going down a rabbit hole.
No, it's not a rabbit hole. In fact, I have a flex. This is flex time. Check me out. Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome.
Retired.
Yeah, so the Globe at full retail isn't doing great, but it had that really good discount, and that one is still going to grow, and it's a pretty ugly set, in my opinion.
The world map did so well because they were like under 10 sellers its whole shelf life.
Yeah.
And when it went out of stock early, even with base level demand, the demand isn't crazy high on the world map. It's just a very low supply set.
So I did sell one of my maps in Q4 for $480 on Walmart. Prices come down significantly since then. I think it's around $350 today.
Not only has the Australia postcard done well, but the Beijing postcard also doing even better than Australia. I think it's near $50 on Amazon right now. And that set even saw a discount end of year for 20% off. I anticipated that Australia would have a higher demand than Beijing in retirement. And so far, the Keepa demand data has been about exactly the same for Beijing and Australia, which I thought was interesting. So it seems like less people picked up Beijing and that price has gone up even higher in the near term. I still think they're both going to even it out around the same price, 6 months from now, but it has gone off to a harder start.
Did you pick up Beijing's also, Brian?
I only got like 6 when it was on sale. So it was like a 450% profit on those.
That's awesome, man. DG, will you bring up travel moments?
Yeah, your favorite set? This is your secret pick, right?
Are we talking about the garbage sets or what?
Yeah. So, Brian, on the topic of travel-related sets, what do you think about this one?
Absolutely garbage. It's been on sale so often. In-store clearance from Target. Online, it's on sale from Lego. Clear oversupply. Third-party sellers are just well under MSRP. Ton of supply. And the demand is not eating it up fast enough.
So Brian has all the analytics. I have none. But just looking at this set, this strikes me as forced family time, which no one likes. Bad set.
That's great,
funny.
It's still too early in the year for me to even pay that close attention. This is one where it's like in the last few weeks, if there's a great discount, I'll go do the research real quick to see if I think the demand could be there.
I'd say the only situation in which this turns out to be a good investment is if it sells out early, and that way it can get a little bit of that Q4 demand, eat up some of that supply, and then it could turn out okay. But if it lingers past the end of the year and it's still on sale, it's toast.
I want to make a hot prediction. I predict come April of 2026, you're going to see this 40% off at Shop at Home, not selling out anytime soon.
Totally possible.
Well, I own none so far, so good on me.
Let's zoom in down here on the bottom of Brick Set. Only 400 people want this set. After being out for a year, being in the icons line, but we don't even know what this is. Category normal? Yeah, that's about right. Let's get some first-hand market data. Here on eBay, we're going for 40% off with free shipping before fees. Are we ever up to 70% of MSRP? No.
A lot of sales, though.
A lot of sale. Well, not really. We're going back to July already. Seems like it sells every few days.
If I was David, this is my David impression. Do you have any?
You know what? I do. I'm not sharing with you. All right. So, like last time, I have a list to pick from from, and it's not this one. But I just want to point out, I could pick this one. I picked up 15 and 50% off. I'm already at 75% return on investment if I sell them on eBay today. The Taj Mahal, picked up a few of these at 50% off. On eBay, it's going 140 all in. That's about 100% return on investment. Jazz Quartet, I was one of the few that liked it. It's showing 127 on Brickset. I'd like it to do a little better, but we're cruising. Cody Helmet, I picked up a bunch at just under $40. Thrilled with that pickup. I got 3 of these at $43 each. I think at the Disney store, and I just sold one for $115 on Marketplace. But the set I'm going with, because it has the most buzz, the most demand, and I have the most inventory, is Tales of the Space Age. I was one of the few, you guys got to give me the credit. I was one of the few that really liked this set, and then it popped, I think at Kohl's for $30. I just sold one locally for $65, sold one on eBay after shipping and fees for around $65. It only had a 2.1 enthusiasm score, so it was in that sweet spot right in the middle of the table. But there's something great about this idea set, and it's showing, and I am thrilled about this one. Guys, over to you for all of your apologies.
Well, Kevin, I hate to dap you up, but I do have to give credit where it is due. You originally brought this set to me. I was down on it, and over the course of time, I turned around on it. By about July of 24, I had committed to my memory that this was a good set. Yes, we saw it for $35 at Kohl's, and then later for $30 at Kohl's. I love this set. You stole my thunder because I was going to bring this set as a flex that I no longer have, unfortunately. Thank you, Natural Disaster.
Yeah, I was in a similar position as you, David. Wasn't totally convinced on it first part of the year, but Kevin was right on it from the beginning. But yeah, around the midway point throughout the year, I just couldn't deny the demand for the set was very good, low supply. And as you mentioned, when we saw it on sale from Kohl's, picked up a bunch, it's done very well. I think I sold them for around $90 on Amazon. Yeah, great pickup, Kevin.
That's awesome. All right, well, guys, that was great. I didn't hear either of you specifically say the word sorry, but you guys sounded very remorseful and apologetic. That I will take that as an apology. So.
I let it be known that Kevin made a good call, and it probably won't happen again. So. Kevin, you stole my thunder with Tales of the Space Age, but there's no need to worry because I have so many winners from last year that I will never get to realize. And I'm pretty sure that all of our viewers are now running for the hills because the set I want to talk about is a Duplo set, 10972 Wild Animals of the Ocean, 32 Duplo pieces for just $20. I know Duplo price per part is right around $1, so this is a pretty good value in the box. Retired at the end of 23, but I picked my 5 copies up in January of 2024, so technically this counts. I picked mine up for 30% off, $14. Today goes on Amazon and Walmart for $49. Ever since it retired right here, slow, steady climb. It's actually sold higher than $49. Highest ever sold for $59. I got mine for $13.09 and 2 for 1. I'm not actually done. Another Duplo set, Santa's Gingerbread House. This one, same deal. Retired in 23. I picked it up 24. Here we found it on Amazon and look at this. No buy box. Price higher than typical. $52. And my buy price for this, $17.46. So I'm sitting on some huge unrealized gains. Unfortunately, yet again, I will not get to realize these, so I guess the joke's on me a little bit.
And we know that's going up another 20 here in a couple of months with the holidays. Like, that's awesome, DG.
Or potentially not. Potentially the supply gets sent in and the price kind of trickles lower in Q4.
I think unlikely on a Duplo. There's just never that much supply on Duplos.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This had all the signs for $16, even for its retail price, $35. Yeah. 50 pieces, including these figures. Look at that Santa. Look at these printed Duplo figures. We have a $1,000 Death Star with stickers, and yet here we are printing on the Duplo Gingerbread House. Don't sleep on Duplo, guys.
Did you have to bring up the $1,000 Death Star? Because I hate that set even more since we talked about it in last episode.
All right. We're not getting derailed. That's coming later.
All right, fine. All right, guys, enough bragging about all your flexes. Let's get into a set each that we really, really regret because it's doing great and we missed out. Brian, I know you don't have many to choose from on this one either, but fire away.
Untrue, but I will take accountability for the set that I talked about in our first collab that has a family reunion celebration, 80113. This was a $130 set. I brought it up as a good set, bad set contender. I was very adamant that it was a bad set. My main concern was that there was going to be lingering inventory and low demand, but this set ended up going out of stock before the end of September and shot up instantly because it did have very low supply. Right now on Amazon, it's going for $226, and on Walmart, there are 0 sellers. To double your money on selling on Amazon, you needed a 35% discount, which was very doable, and that's to double your money after fees and shipping. When you you look at Keepa, I was right about the low demand. It has never even sold 50 plus units since it sold out. So it had the very best case scenario. It had to go out like this for it to perform well. So yeah, I missed this set. Being low risk as possible does cause you to miss some sets from time to time, and that's what happened here.
Brian, great analysis, and I very humbly agree.
How come I never
Awesome.
get that, Kevin? So, Brian, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying you were correct about the low demand, but somehow this Lunar New Year set had much less supply than the others?
No, it had low supply the whole time. Most of these Lunar New Year sets have had low supply their whole shelf life, but then they linger in stock, and then they just never perform even when they go out of stock. But this set, it went off stock early.
All three of our flops had the opposite problem of lingering zombie stock, right? So it's really all about, does the set sell out, and if so, when? And we really can't predict that very well.
Yeah.
100%. But I also will add that I am doubling down this year. The Lunar New Year sets are going to perform terribly, and nature is going to return back to normal. Everything's going to heal. They've been consistently discounted very significantly, all of them. Yeah, I think they're going to both perform very poorly. We'll see.
I agree. Nature is going to return to its usual rhythms. The Osh's Cottage sets in Kevin's house are going to just, under cover of night, crawl out the front door and into the garbage can.
Brian, that was a really hot take on this year's two Lunar New Year sets, man. Very brave of you.
Do you like them?
No,
You want to make a hot take as well?
No, they're terrible.
Okay.
Everybody knows they're terrible.
Okay.
And great analysis as always. All right, I think it's my turn on the set that I missed out on. I got a few candidates, but I got one that's a real gut punch. Starting out with a city downtown with the new road plate designs, $200 set. I only got one. I think we were able to get this one as low as 35% off. $225 on brick set. Awesome build. The next one, it's actually a couple in this series, but these Golden Dragon sets from Ninjago, realized these retired back in 23, but I only have a couple of each. I got them for personal, got them on huge discounts. Like these were cheap somewhere, 50 to 60% off. But look at this, $90 up to $125. The police station, obvious pick. I wish I had more. I only have a few, so I'm feeling FOMO on that one. But the one that hurts me the most is Chewbacca. This guy was saying we would have ample opportunity to pick this set up at $100 to $120, and it would be great at that price. And sure enough, we had ample of opportunity to get this set darn near 50% off. And check this out on eBay. $300 with shipping, $230, $220, $220, $220. And I know it's doing great on Amazon too. Brickset says I have one. I actually picked up three. I wish I got 10 or 15. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Wait, so you do have some of the set?
Oh, heck yeah, but only three.
What segment are we doing?
We are doing the I missed out because I should have got 15. I'm going to build one of them, and then, I'm only selling two. I should have got 15. So,
Kevin.
Oh man, this one is such a gut punch because I love this set. It's so cool. And then with C-3PO and R2-D2 and,
I mean, thankfully, it just went out of stock within the past month, I believe, from Amazon and one other place, I think Walmart. So now it's going to be able to really shoot up in price.
But I don't worry about sets that have, 6 to 9 months extra stock. Now, I don't want them to go into the 12-month range, but we kind of expect that these days. So
this is such a weird thing that I don't know if they'll do a redo for at least a few years. So I know we like to turn over our stock as quickly as possible to compound as fast as possible. But I think if you hold this 3 or 4 years, you could see $350 or, I don't know, $400.
Because there's no way they're redoing this anytime soon.
No.
But I keep shaking my head at myself. It just hurts.
Well, guys, it's my turn to share a set that I studied and studied and studied with the monocle, with the microscope, with the looking glass. I let it slip through my fingers, and now I regret it. 75313, the UCS AT-AT, $850 retail price, just over a 3-year shelf life. At the time this was retired, this was the largest ever Star Wars price point to retire. There were no true comps in this neighborhood, and a lot of people were nervous about how much buying activity there would really be for a set that's over $1,000 on the aftermarket. It's been nearly a year since this retired, and we have our results. Turns out the UCS AT-AT is a hit. It's sold as high as $1,500, which if you got it for $680 after tax and other expenses is a doubling before your fees and shipping. So if you made 50% on this investment, buying at $680, you made $340 on one sale. I looked at this set so closely. I'm such a Lego Star Wars nerd. I thought about it and I just decided it was too risky. Side note, it seems kind of insignificant, but these UCS sets still use the glue type seals, and I'm starting to prefer sets with those pop type seals because you don't have to worry about glue loosening and things like that. And heaven forbid my seals got loose on my UCS AT-AT. Well, now it's open box sealed back bag, and that's a multi-$100 hit. Not to mention, I won't be able to sell it new on Amazon. So this is a great set. I think it's well on its way to $2,000 one day, and I'm just bummed to say that I missed it.
Yeah, DG, I hear you. You and I talked about this one extensively. I think we had the predictions pretty well pegged, but at least for me, I just wasn't quite ready yet to be dropping over $600 on a Lego investment.
I'm right there with you. I definitely saw that there was a good possibility it performed nicely in retirement, but at the end of the day, it's such a large set, I wasn't going to consider buying it unless there was an insane discount on it.
Brian, what are you thinking about the UCS Razor Crest this year?
That's interesting. This set's been discounted very significantly, but we have the Mandalorian movie coming out next year, and we have seen pretty much confirmation that the Razor Crest or a new version of the Razor Crest is going to be featured. So there's definitely going to be increased cultural relevance. Yeah, I think it has a possibility of doing very well, but I would want to have a very good discount just to ensure myself in case anything goes wrong.
And sometimes on these huge UCS sets, we will see brief, somewhat deep discounts. I know people got the UCS AT-AT from Walmart, I think for $625.
Yeah, I mean, the Razor Crest has been at least 30% off directly from retailers, if not a little bit more than that.
I've seen it at $420 somewhat regularly.
Yeah.
I'm not that excited about it, but it's another one that I'm watching.
I just think the timing is perfect of this set retiring and then Mando movie in 2026. I think this is going to have a whole new wave of demand coming late 2026, and I'd like to be able to capitalize on that.
All right, should we do some good set, bad set?
First set, 40796, Revenge of the Sith, Heroes and Villains. This is the Brickhead set. The second set is 43251, Antonio's Animal Sanctuary.
So wait a minute, we have one of these doomed multi-pack Star Wars Brickheads, and then an Encanto set? I'm seeing bad set and bad set. We know that's
one of
not the
them's good,
game.
according to Brian. You got to pick.
One of them's got to be good, and it ain't going to be the multi-pack Brickheads. So Antonio's Animal Sanctuary, what do you have in store for me? I'm calling this a good set, not knowing anything about it.
All right, and so my pick, I'm actually going to go the opposite. I hate to do it, but General Grievous and some of the other characters here, I'm going to go that Brian thinks this one's going to be an outlier compared to the others.
All right, take a moment here to clear your mind. Don't think about the other two Star Wars multi-packs. The performance of this set has nothing to do with those. Come at this fresh slate. This is a Lego exclusive Star Wars set that has an 8-month shelf life. You'd expect a set with those characteristics would have a ton of hype in supply, right? This set has 3 sellers on Amazon. The lowest price is $80. There's no Walmart listing. There's only 14 US sellers on eBay. There's no supply. People are making blind comparisons to the Battle of Endor Heroes that was 40% off for 3 months into retirement. Despite that, in May of the year after it retired, it was up to $50 on Amazon, selling 100 units a month in May, but then that listing was deleted, leaving us with an incorrectly branded Star Wars listing that has never been unsuppressed on Amazon since. It's been search suppressed. So that's why that set hasn't done well. And then Phantom Menace, it did go 40% off as well, but it was out of stock in less than 2 weeks. But then something no one could have predicted, Lego sent a ton of units to Amazon in January, and it's been in stock ever since. Those two sets both had extenuating circumstances that are very uncommon. Like, that rarely happens. It happens to a few sets, a handful every year, that kind of thing. It just happened to happen to both of those Star Wars multi-packs. It's a fresh leaf, fresh page. As long as it has a normal retirement and goes out of stock from Lego on time, it will be one of the biggest sleepers this year.
Ooh, hot take. I can't disagree with you so far. And I like the way you're explaining why those last two multi-packs didn't perform. However, Brian, it's only September as we record this. There's no way to know if this will sell out before the end of the year or end up lingering on the Lego sales section at 30% off for 6 months. We're not yet at the fork in the road. We don't know what's going to happen.
That's very true. And if something extenuating happens where it does linger for many months, then that's not going to be as good as it could be. But I really think that history is going to be changed with this set. If history does change, it's going to be amazing. Like, no one can deny the metrics of the set. It's absolutely stellar.
Like the bull case, if things go well.
Yeah, this is the case for like 50% of Lego sets every year. They go out of stock on time from every retailer, and they have a nice spike, and then the rest linger from different places. But this set's only at Lego, so the only place it can linger is Lego in most cases, unless they send a bunch to Amazon, which does happen from time to time. But what are the odds it happens 2 years in a row for the same sub-theme?
It seems high risk, high reward. If this doesn't go on sale, then we have to buy it at full price Paradise. There's no indication to tell us whether or not Lego might send pallets over to Amazon post-retirement. It just makes me nervous.
I mean, you could have said the same thing for anything. The Sonic Brickheadz from last year, same thing at this point. They could send a bunch to Amazon, but they didn't.
Well, you're right about that. I guess it's the lingering stock thing. We're 2 for 2 on these multi-pack Star Wars Brickheads having lingering stock at Lego.com, regardless of what happens with any Amazon. And yes, it's also, I guess, bad luck or just random chance that both of the last Star Wars multi-pack Brickheads had funky Amazon listings that screwed with their aftermarket performance. It just, if the track record is 2 for 2, why would you bet on number 3? High risk, high reward. I kind of like it.
Maybe this one will be different than the others. Could there be validity that a lot of investors have seen Battle Endor Heroes and then last year's and just say, look, I'm out. And therefore, the supply will be much lower on the secondary market. Definitely a possibility. We do see those things. But what I do worry about is, did Lego look at the performance of the first 2 in this sub-theme? And did they pivot themselves? Because clearly they produced a lot more Battle of Endor Heroes than there was demand for. And they printed a lot more of last year's Phantom Menace than there was demand for. Did Lego learn? And will there be less copies overall produced for this Revenge of the Sith? Or are we in a situation where all the metrics and data you're looking at, Brian, is fantastic, but now instead of sending pallets of this set to Amazon, they're going to have to send truckloads of sets because they printed the same amount. If it goes on 40% discount very late, I might pick up a few and then, of course, hope that it has a normal retirement.
I also have to have an asterisk. I actually haven't even bought any of this set yet, but I do plan on buying some.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting too. I've been on the fence, and I just can't deny the metrics for this set.
What does that make Antonio's Animal Sanctuary?
It's a Walmart exclusive. I didn't know if anyone knew that. So early in this year, it definitely could have been a sleeper. There was low supply, but now it's been on in-store clearance from Walmart a ton. There are 30 Walmart sellers. The buy box is $21. That's almost 50% off. And there are 59 Amazon sellers, $24.89 buy box. So there's just not much demand for the set to eat up all that clearance inventory. And we don't have upcoming cultural relevance. Encanto 2 has not been announced yet. Maybe it could somewhat recover when that movie comes out, but it's likely going to be years from now.
You pretty much covered it all. Encanto hasn't had any winning sets, I don't think. Last year's Lego exclusive Dreams Village had some potential as a Lego exclusive. That one has so many sellers on Walmart, it's not going anywhere.
All right, guys, I've got 2 larger sets for my good set, bad set 2-pack today. The first one, 21343 Viking Village. It's an idea set. And the second one is 10332 Medieval Town Square, an icon set. Which one's good and which one's bad in my eyes?
In your eyes, Kevin, I'm pretty sure you think Viking Village is good set and the other one is bad set, because I think that's what I've gathered from your videos.
I gotta go with Brian on this one. I think you're gonna say that Viking Village is good and Medieval Town Square is bad.
All right, so I got you guys. I threw you guys a curveball. So Viking Village is bad set and Medieval Town Square is good set. Looking at the data I've collected in the last few months, Viking Village has 18 mentions with a 2.4 enthusiasm score, and Medieval Town Square has only 6 mentions with a 1.8 enthusiasm score. Some metrics that I like to look at on brick set. So it's been out since 2023, but I'm worried that this set is being too over talked about for investing. And then when we compare the 2 Camel 3X charts, well, I can't find one for 21343 because it's a Target exclusive, but I can find one for the Medieval Town Square. Just recently it went on a very short discount, otherwise never been on sale. And we do have some third-party sales back at Christmas in the 330 to 350 range, and then recently around 260. And Medieval Town Square is $100 more. That'll keep people out on the secondary market.
I think Viking Village has a very good chance to be a great investment.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's awful, but it's not one that I want to go deep on unless there is better metrics or a last-minute discount.
It being a Target exclusive, even though it has been on sale from Lego, I'm not too concerned that the supply in the aftermarket is going to be insanely high. I think it'll turn out pretty nicely unless it sees a ton of discounts for a long time. So I think it'll still be a good set. I have a good number of them. And then the other set, this one feels very similarly to me as the Eldorado Fortress. It's a very low demand set, been at MSRP almost its entire shelf life. I think this set sells 100 units a month. And so if this set sells out when it should, I think it will have enough sustained demand to keep it rising in value over time, because there is very low supply for this set. But if there is lingering inventory, it could take a long time for it to sell through because of the low demand. And so the exact same hesitancy I had as Eldorado Fortress. It's, again, you just got to manage the risk. There's definitely a chance it turns out to do very nicely, but there's a chance that if anything negatively negatively happens to the set over the next 4 months, then it'll probably be just average or below average. But I think it has a more likely chance of being average to above average.
I think it's all about the buy price. These are two sets pretty much in different price brackets. One we can get on sale for about 100. The other we can get on sale apparently once for 200. But I think people are conflating these two sets and kind of considering them competition for each other. I really don't think that's the case. First of all, they're in different themes. Second of all, Lego Vikings are just a little different than Lego Castle, and past Lego Viking play scale sets have done well. Looking at the third-party sales for Viking Village, there are no sales under 120, and the retail price is 130. So this is selling 5 or 8% below MSRP, and then it's selling up to 80% over MSRP. Seems like a pretty good asymmetric risk-reward profile there. As much as I like this medieval town square, I don't think the metrics are as strong, and like Brian said, I am a little concerned about fading into irrelevance, low liquidity, things like that. If this retires with zero supply, I could see it going to $400 or $500, but that's just such a low probability play that for me, I'm probably gonna just put my funds into other sets. And to close out this good set, bad set guessing game, we are going to a theme that I know nothing about. We are talking about Marvel, and our two sets are the 76191 Infinity Gauntlet and the 76295 Avengers Helicarrier, both retiring at the end of this year. One's a good set and one's a bad set. What do you guys think?
For me, it's a very easy choice. We'll see what your decision is, but for me, I would say Infinity Gauntlet bad, Helicarrier good.
And I think DG's saying Infinity Gauntlet good and Helicarrier bad. And I would have felt that way maybe a few weeks ago, but that Infinity Gauntlet has stayed at the, 35-40% off somewhere for a few weeks, down in the $40 range. I picked up 3 from Amazon, and now I'm regretting it.
Two very different sets. Yes, they're both adult-oriented display sets. One has been out since 2021. That's your Infinity Gauntlet. While the other, the Helicarrier, is going to have just over a 1-year shelf life. Gauntlet has been all over Amazon ever since it was first introduced back in 2021. Man, that feels like a lifetime ago. Its price has bounced up and down. It's been on frequent sales and then also on some shorter-lived sales down here to the lower right, selling as low as about $46. It was selling pretty regularly between $60 and $70, about 20% off, but this summer it went back down to $45, and like you guys were saying, it has stayed there for a few weeks. Looking at the chart, that sale has finally come undone and we're back to the full retail price. I'm going to say the Infinity Gauntlet is not just a good set, but a great set. It wouldn't have been kept around for 4.5 years if it wasn't. And Avengers is going to be kept alive forever, just based off of memes, to say nothing of any future films. I could talk all day about the mix of painted and pearl gold parts in the box, and just the insane demand numbers make me really bullish on this set. If we look at when it's been out of stock, up over $80 several times before. So even though the Amazon listing is super crowded on this set with 57 sellers, I do think it has strong potential, and I think if you can get it over 40% off, it could have strong potential for Lego investing. Now, the Avengers Helicarrier, same $80 retail price, 509 parts, not as good looking, 28 stickers on this thing, including all those runways. For a stiffly priced, adult-targeted display set, this sure doesn't scream quality. In fact, it seems cheap, and it seems like Lego is sticking it to us the way they like to. Now, something a lot of people don't know is that this set is Walmart exclusive, so we have to work to find the Amazon listing, and if we can find that main listing, we'll see it's been pretty steadily in stock at $102. Moving over to eBay, selling over 25% off before you factor in fees and shipping. That's not what we like to see. I actually don't know the sales velocity on this Helicarrier, but compared to the Gauntlet, it's nothing, and so I'm calling Gauntlet good and Helicarrier bad. Brian's looking at me like, Brian's like, I'm about to destroy this man's argument.
No.
Brian, go.
For the Infinity Gauntlet, I think it definitely has the upside of being a good set. I don't know about great, but good. It has been just significantly discounted so often, like several rounds of Walmart in-store clearance online from not only Amazon, Walmart, other stores. But I do agree that there is going to be very continued collectability with this, with the Marvel relics and all that. And I do think that this is kind of the year for Marvel. I think Marvel is like the sleeper theme of the year, and there is a new Avengers movie coming out at the end of this year and another one at the end of next year. So we are going to have the Avengers back in the spotlight. There might be some callbacks to Thanos there as well. So I do think there is going to be good demand, but I also think that the supply is going to be pretty high. So you just have to get at a really good discount.
You definitely have that right. It is super, super well supplied, but my gamble is that the demand is going to be stronger than that and eat up the supply at low prices.
Yep, that's totally fair. And for the Helicarrier, I really like this set. I don't think I've talked about it on YouTube, but it is high. Walmart exclusive. The supply is super low, selling well over MSRP. Not on eBay, but I think on Walmart there's 0 sellers. If not, then maybe there's like 3. There's also this newer set, 76325, the Avengers Age of Ultron Quinjet. It's also a smaller ship on a display stand. I think it could go together nicely. I really like this set. We'll see how it turns out.
No buzz. I hadn't even heard of it before a couple days ago.
Which can be a good sign, but if it's a standalone, yeah, you mentioned the small Quinjet, but I don't think that one is officially midi scale. I feel like we would need a couple more, and then yeah, it could turn into the TIE Fighter pilot helmet, for example, if since nobody is picking up this set for investing. But I'm not seeing anything that we're going to get much more in that scale, and the set's so flimsy and so expensive. Yeah, if it's super low supply, then it doesn't take much demand to drive it up, but I worry about demand.
I want to kick back on the TIE Fighter pilot comment. I think there's no chance this goes to $500 the way that did, because it's Marvel and not Star Wars.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it would do that, but we could certainly one day look back and be like, oh, this set was way overpriced and it seemed like nobody was interested in it, and now it's going for $250 because it's the first of 5, and nobody got the first one out of 5, something like that. So Brian,
we could copy and paste all of these comments for Star-Lord's helmet last year onto this one.
That's a good point. But we did get the Spider-Man's mask, and we have Venom and Carnage, and we've got Miles Morales. So this one will be interesting to watch. That I know.
All right, before we wrap, leave your comments down below. Who do you think had the best picks, and on the flip, who had the worst?
And who had the hottest takes? Like the Helicarrier MIDI scale is going to be a good investment. I'm curious to see what the comments are on that one.
Thank you, Brian, for coming onto the podcast and being such a well-behaved guest.
Absolutely. Always a fun time with you guys. I'm excited for the next one.
And thank you, Kevin, for coming on the podcast.
And being not well-behaved.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. That's the end of this one. Thanks again, everybody, for doing this. A lot of fun, and we're out.
Boom.
Welcome back to Brett. What are we even saying? What are we saying? We're saying welcome back to Brett. I had all this ideas of what to say, and it all.
Clearly, you did.
Thanks, man.
That's good. Fight back, Kevin.
Yeah, we're never gonna get anywhere on any actual content if you guys keep.
I don't know. I feel like we just did the intro.
This is like when the kids get in the car and they're fighting already, and before you even light it.
I'm telling y'all, if we leave this uncut at the beginning, it'd be perfect.